Hello there. Today I thought I'd share a great fun sweet wine from California. This is Andrew Quady's Essencia, and it's an Orange Muscat, and this is the 2019 vintage. Back in the 1970s, Andrew Quady was working for the US military. He says he was an underwater explosives expert, so I assume he was sort of working in salvage and demolition, that sort of thing. And he decided he wanted a sort of a quieter and slightly safer life, and so he retrained. He went to UC Davis, studied food science, enology, finished top of his class, and when he left, the first wine that he started making was a wine that he's still making today, a wine that he refers to as Starboard. He initially made this out of rich Amador County Zinfandel, and the name Starboard is an homage to port, because this was a red fortified wine made in the style that the Portuguese would make port. Today the wine is actually made from the same varieties that the Portuguese would use to make port, but in those days it was a Zinfandel. Coming to 1980, Andrew found that in the town of Riedling in the San Joaquin Valley there was a good source of orange muscat, a variety that the Italians would describe as Muscat Fiodorancio. It's a variety that's closely related to Muscat Blanc and Petit Grain, generally regarded as the highest quality of the Muscats, but related to that in that it's a crossing of Muscat Blanc and Petit Grain and Chasselas, the Swiss grape variety. And the characteristics of orange muscat are that they're supposed to smell of orange blossom, orange peel. It's quite an evocative aroma of that. But it's a variety that had lost out to Muscat Blanc and Petit Grain, Muscat Canelli as it's sometimes known. But Andrew seems to have found a way of working with this and making the variety almost his own. He picks the fruit quite ripe, and once it's been crushed, it gets a pre-fermentation maceration. It's then pressed, ferments briefly, and is then fortified with a grape brandy. The wine is left with 15% alcohol after fortification, and this has 175 grams per litre of sweetness. So not a particularly long fermentation going on there, because a lot of sugar is still left in the wine. After fermentation, the wine then spends a few months in mostly French oak barriques. They're old oak, so they're not trying to give oak flavour to the wine, they're trying to just allow the various lots to marry together and create a harmonious whole, just allow a little bit of air in to help that process. So let's have a look at the wine, shall we? First thing to say is it's a beautiful, almost bronzed gold there. That's a deep orangey colour, which is fantastic. The aromas have a spirity top note, I'll say that, but essentially that spiritiness is overlaying a sort of a sultana aroma, and from behind that sultana aroma there are notes of orange blossom, orange peel, orange juice. There's a real intense oranginess to it. There are also notes of sort of slight burnt sugar, treacle, that sort of dimension, so it's quite an interesting nose. There's no oak influence noticeable on the nose. Swelling it, unsurprisingly for a wine with that much sugar and 15% alcohol, don't forget, there are some quite serious tears hanging to the glass. They're just hanging on the glass. They're not really descending particularly quickly. So let's have a taste. Tasting that, it's sweet. There's a honeyed flavour, a honeyed texture overlying that. As the wine spreads across my tongue, there are these notes of orange blossom. There's a beautiful sort of sweet orange juice, orange skin, sort of mandarin orange, quite piquant flavours there. There are the caramel notes. The spiritiness is there. The wine is of medium weight, it's not particularly heavy. There is this sort of texture, the slight sort of almost marzipan sort of texture, just giving it some roundness, the honeyed notes I'm talking about. The flavours themselves don't seem hugely long at first, but then the richness of the finish, the warmth, maybe a little bit of alcohol, is starting to sort of show, and you've got more of that sort of caramel note, and again the orange is showing there. So there's a reasonable length. This is not a particularly expensive wine. This is not a wine that's been made by Bob botrytis. It's from a warm climate region, and it's consistently showing richness and ripeness. I think that's a great value wine. I think it's exciting. I love the fact that it's a variety that's sort of slightly unusual, and is something that Andrew Quady has very much made his own. This is one of the few wineries in the US that sort of pretty much specialises in making sweet wines, although they have branched out more to table wines now with Quady North, but very much they've made this niche their own, and I think this is a wonderful characterful wine. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you found this interesting. If you have, do please leave us your comments, like and share the video, sign up and follow us on YouTube. That'd be fantastic. But most importantly, I hope you'll be able to find some time to watch some more of our videos in the near future. Thanks again. Bye now.